One of the most scariest moments in my automatic Landcruiser, pushing a little too far beyond its limits.
Zero control.
Let me explain. I'm on my way to the goldfields to put the latest upgrades through an endurance test.
This is the new bar. These are 7-inch. Before I had 9-inch. Well, that wasn't meant to happen.
On a 300-kilometre track I know very well.
Looks like a war zone.
But before that, I wanted to try the toughest beach in Western Australia. Bornholm Beach.
I had planned to meet up with a mate down at Bornholm Beach, but he was running a day behind. So I thought, why not swing into Brunswick on the way south?
A very popular place to test your skills and push your vehicle to the limits.
Already lost control of the back end. I have very limited control on this. Zero control.
It may appear to look calm, but on the inside, I'm blocking my fear.
That adrenaline is pumping.
Despite my embarrassment of admitting this, I totally underestimated this hill and I should have walked it first.
Once I was just sliding, there's not much you can do, except for just keep the wheels straight. Making sure the vehicle was in the ruts. That was hair-raising.
It could have resulted in far worse damage than just a reflector and a graze. And thankfully, the wrap protected the paint.
Guess that wrap finally comes in handy. At that point, I made a wise decision to leave Brunswick and head to Bornholm Beach and catch up with my mate Harry from Fire to 4. Down south with Harry. Hey, mate.
And in case you didn't know, this is Harry. And this is...
Fred, how you going, mate? What's happening? What's happening?
Time for the challenge at Bornholm Beach. I have 2 previous vehicles I can compare this to. 4-cylinder Landcruiser. You're up next.
Latest in Toyota sewing machine technology 2.8.
What a cool turbo diesel.
Coming at you very soon.
Honestly, that thing is like a lumberjack wearing lacy underwear. It all looks good from the outside and then you find out what's underneath.
Sewing machine coming at ya. Oh. You know, kind of looking back when I had the V8 and I'm like revving and sounds awesome. Straight pipe. And you're coming up this hill. And then just to do it now in a 2.8, kind of with a lot more ease as well. Like, I definitely gave it way more than what I needed.
Feeling very happy and satisfied I finally got to test the 76 series on Bornholm Beach, I turned my sights to the unpredictable 300-kilometre Goldfields track.
You're gonna freeze your ass off on the Holland track, you know that, right? 3 degrees, good place to drown your car, good place to sleep in a wet thing. Have fun.
Enjoy your heated caravan tonight, mate.
I certainly will.
Yeah, speaking of a Holland track.
And it just so happens the roads were closed behind me the very next morning. I'm now isolated with my 76 series on a soggy Holland track in the Goldfields. And that's where the story begins.
Good morning. It is freezing cold. I just managed to get out of my swag this morning, but it was worth it because those colors were absolutely amazing. So what's happening? What are we doing? Well, I'm moving around to stay warm. I'm gonna go buy the fire soon, but check out that. Look at that. Got the 76 back out. Got lots happening. It's already dirty. It's already muddy.
Dirt, mud, cold and wet. To many, this doesn't sound like a good time. However, I think otherwise.
Absolutely saturated. And I guess that's why a lot of people don't like camping during winter, but I actually have a bit of a trick that I do that I encourage you to try if you're not a big fan of camping in winter, especially when it's raining and it's wet and it's cold. My trick is to, at night, put on some nice comfy trackies, a nice oversized jumper, and hop into your nice warm sleeping bag with that. Zip up the entire swag or tent. Just zip everything up. Don't have any vents open. And then you actually get a good night's sleep. Otherwise you'd be shivering all night. And speaking of warming up, I reckon this coffee is just about, yep, excuse me, you're on the gloves. Check this out. You can adjust the heat on this by doing that. Bush innovation.
Here's another tip. If your swag is wet, keep your bedding separated. And even if there is any moisture in a mattress, the sheepskin pelts prevent it from rising. How muddy and how challenging is this track going to be? There's only one way to find out.
There's a number of things I've improved since last time, and last time was Shark Bay. So rather than have a trip and then reminisce on it, I thought why not wrap everything into one thing, have a bit of fun while we're out here, compare the vehicle, how it goes to previous vehicles in the past I've had here.
The Hilux SR5.
Being an auto, same gearbox, same motor, and then
The V8 79 series.
which has also been on this track so many times before. But this is the 76's first time. I can also show you some of the new additions to the vehicle as well. I'm kind of just going where this is taking me, really. All four wheels.
Even twin locked, I'm still spinning.
A place like this, the Holland track, and it's wet, you do not stand the chance unless you have mud terrains.
Mud tyres are unique. The gaps in the tread blocks allow them to self-clean when you spin them. But it's also a balance between control and speed. When surrounded by mud pits, holes and traps deep enough to swallow a whole car,
That hole is huge.
you have to take it easy.
Trust me, you want to stay out of these ones and stay as far to one side as you can. And I know a lot of people love to jump into the mud, and it is fun, but it costs a lot of money. Last time I had a car out here, it cost me $5,000 in repairs. That said, there are times when there is no choice.
Like right now. Time to grab a stick and do the hokey pokey.
After a bit of a poke around, that's going to be my number one option.
Most people just check the depth and the base, but there's more to it than that.
That seems a bit deep, and there's some logs underneath the water. Often when people get bogged, they panic and just throw whatever they can in the holes to try and get some kind of traction. But then sometimes when someone else drives through, that log or whatever could actually flick up and damage the vehicle. This beautiful bull bar doesn't have a winch.
Another reason to be extra careful.
And the beauty about that bar, you can add a winch after the fact, nice and easy. I'll show you a bit later on. Right now, we've got a water hole attacking.
Before I knew it, the bush had gone from greasy clay to a burnt, sandy, apocalyptic landscape, as far as the eye could see.
It's all burnt out. That looks so cool. I'm gonna have to stop and get some photos of the car. That's unreal.
Like a kid in a candy shop, I took snaps of my favourite companion, what it really looked like at the time, and what was going through my head. Apocalyptic imagination.
I'll head out there to get some photos for 5 minutes, and look how dirty I am already. I'm like a bloody kid. This is the new bar. Off-road Animal Predator bar. And the reason why I've gone for this particular bar is because this is the only one that I've found so far that I like, and it actually retains the look of this car. All the others, I'm not saying they're bad or they're good or anything. I'm just saying I didn't like the look of them. This retains that look of the new 70. I love it. I'm sitting up pretty high, so I'm not too worried about not having something across here. Although, yes, I am definitely vulnerable. There's no doubt about it. If a kangaroo is in midair and I hit it, which is kind of unlikely.
Oh my God, just get out of the way.
At least I'm protected here. I can still get home. I can still continue my trip. Just gonna put us in the car. Let's have a look at those red things underneath. Those are not just the recovery points, but it's also where this whole bar is mounted. I installed this bar with my mate Sean, and to help out a fellow mate, if you want one of these bars, check out Sean Mission 4x4 at his workshop. I wanted to help him install this bar on the vehicle so I knew how it attached.
Removing the plastic to put in some steel.
Where this recovery point is attached, it goes around the chassis. That is one strong recovery point, and there's two of them, which means I have more options for recovering. Speaking of recovering, I don't have a winch. It can easily be added later. This whole piece here, that just comes out. You might have noticed that these are different. They're new. Before I had the 9-inch with this hoop, I had to go the 7-inch. They cost me 499 bucks. Delivered just the day before I left. The other ones are bloody good, and they plug straight into the same harness. It's the same wiring harness. There is a third light in here, right there. That is not hooked up yet. That light came with the bar, so I believe that might be an off-road animal bar, I think. Light bar, light bar, bull bar. Get back on the track, we got a fair way to go. What do you think? Do you like the bar? Looks like this apocalyptic landscape's about to come to an end. I'm getting flicked with mud here too. Uh-oh. Look at this place. Actually looks like a war zone. That's not a good sign.
Not much choice in lines to pick.
Oh, haze being up. Ooh, shit. Not quite the way I wanted to go. Oh no, don't hit the tree. Gee whizzy, man.
After almost an hour of dealing with this terrain, I had finally reached Mount Holland.
Not even halfway. A long way to go still. All this water and mud has really held me up. Well, one thing I've noticed, I've been forced to try and straddle as many of these bog holes as I can, because otherwise you kind of, I don't want to get stuck. I don't have a winch yet. That said, I've been able to hold these lines unlike before. You see, with a dual cab ute being such a long vehicle, there are many similar situations that I've been in today. Back end didn't slide in where it normally would with dual cab ute. There are advantages and disadvantages to wheelbase, that's for sure. And climbing up this hill here is definitely way more comfortable than what I'm used to. I still spend too much time up here. Got a long way to go. Got a fallen tree here, but I reckon I can just crush it. Crusher. Of course I'm gonna move it. I know there'll be a few people saying, don't be lazy. Job done. Actually, before we jump in, these puddles. Wow, the Achilles heel of the V8 70 series is the alternator because it hangs so low. Even a little puddle like that, the amount of mud and bog holes I've had to go through so far, I haven't had that alternator anxiety with this 2.8. You don't have to worry about it. I've done this whole track before with the Hilux, never had an issue. Many other vehicles don't have that issue, but with a 70 series V8 and a 200 series, the alternator hangs so low. Once that gets mud in it, stops producing power, your batteries start dropping, you gotta do a bush fix just to get out. Very muddy out here. The other thing I don't have to worry about, this is an automatic. I don't have to worry about changing gears in the mud when I get stuck. I don't want to change gears in the middle of the water, so we have to move backwards and forwards. God damn, this is a bloody hole, I tell you. That's another really good thing. Let's get going.
Two hours and 200 puddles later.
The track's actually been quite relentless. It's taken quite a while to get to where I am now. Golden hour's already, it snuck up on me. Look, it is winter, so the sun goes down earlier, which means that the lights are going to go on soon. To answer a frequent asked question, with the factory headlights on this 70 series, why are they flashing all the time?
Yeah, why are they flashing?
It's to do with frame rate. Our eyes see it like roughly 24 or 25 frames per second. And the reason why we're seeing them flash only on camera is because of the frame rate. Not flashing, flashing. Not flashing, flashing. That's why you're seeing the lights flash. Anyway, we'll get to see how good these are. I thought I was gonna have like a big drop in light going from 9" to 7" because there's like a whole other circle of LEDs that aren't in there. It actually did pretty good on the highway, so we'll see how it goes here. I've definitely lost spread though.
I've not made much progress along this track at all. I'm a day behind where I'd normally be, and it was always going to be in darkness we find camp anyway. Tonight's camp will likely be close to midnight. Next time, I'll have to explain how the heck I managed to do this.
Well, that wasn't meant to happen.
Bunch of other stuff I've yet to show you.
Cafe 76. I'm going to reveal something that I haven't hidden from you, but chaotic bush, woodland.